Hi everyone, so this is going to be a makeup tutorial for a back to school look. It's going to be really easy, very fresh, very natural, very quick as well. Apologies in advance because I'm using natural lighting. My window is wide open, so you're probably going to hear some doof doof music in the background, some dogs barking, maybe some lawnmowers and my washing machine. But that's the way it is, so I hope you guys don't mind. I'm sure you won't. Now to get started, just keeping this very simple, very basic, because you are going to school or it could be a daily work look, so just trying to keep it very natural and just adapt the colours to your skin tone. The first product I would recommend using is just a tinted moisturiser, not necessarily a foundation unless you are really worried about coverage and you want something a little bit more full coverage, but a tinted moisturiser is good. Also, try to find one with an SPF in it, or if you can't, definitely put an SPF on your skin because, you know, if you're outside or are in the sun, as a lot of people at school are, SPF is always good. So the product that I'm using is the Dermalogica Clean Start Brighten Up with SPF 15+. This does have a tint to it, and I'm NW15 from MAC, very, very pale. And this looks quite dark, but it blends out quite nicely. But I think it would also work on people who are more tanned, a little bit more darker than I am. Just apply that all over as a base. Now the next step is optional, and that's to apply a concealer. A lot of the products I'm using today are going to be drugstore products or products that you can find from Priceline, Kohl's, just everyday stores. Now the concealer that I'm using is a Maybelline concealer, and it's the SuperStay Concealer 24 Hours. I'm in the colour Ivory, so it's the palest one like always. Now this concealer actually has a little fluffy dabby thing on the end, so I'm going to just apply some of it to the back of my hand, just so I'm not applying it directly onto the nasties, and I just don't really like the idea of doing that. So when it's on the back of your hand, just pick up a little bit, and if you've got spots like at the moment I do on my chin, just apply a small amount there and kind of dab it out just to blend it in. You can put a little bit under the eye area if you want, if you need it. So the next step is optional, but I like to do it because it sets in my tinted moisturiser. It also helps if you have more oily skin to make it not so shiny, not so oily, and help it last throughout the day. So I'm just using a pressed powder. This one is CoverGirl's Advanced Radiance, but you know, any pressed powder that you're comfortable using or that you enjoy using is fine. So I'm just going to use it on a flat top brush. This brush is from Crown Brushes, and I bought it at IMATS last year, 2010. So I'm just going to get some on the top of the brush and just kind of buff it out in a light layer just to set the tinted moisturiser. It also adds a really tiny bit of coverage as well. So if you don't want to use a liquid foundation and you are just wanting to use a tinted moisturiser, the powder will add a little bit more coverage if that's all you need. Now the next step is to define my eyebrows. You can use a gel, a pencil, a powder. I prefer powder. I just find it the easiest to work with and it gives me the most natural look. I use an old brow kit from Bloom Cosmetics that I have had for a very long time, but it just works the best for me. You can also find it in a lot of drugstore brands will have brow kits, so you know, I think almost every single brand will have some form of eyebrow kit. Now I'm just using a MAC brush. It's a 311 brush. I think it's actually a lip brush, but you can use something like, this one comes with a little tiny angled brush, any brush that you feel comfortable using, but this is just the one that I prefer. So that's the eyebrows done. I find that when you do your eyebrows, it kind of frames your face a bit better, so I like to do my eyebrows Now for the eyeshadow, I'm going to keep it very natural. And the colours, you can use any brand. I'm just going to use my 88 palette and pick a couple of the natural colours. To start with, I'm going to use just a small eyeshadow brush. This one is actually called a small eyeshadow brush, and it's from Models Prefer, available at Priceline. Now, the first colour I'm going to pick is kind of going to be this one up here. Third from the top, second row across. It's like a really nice nude. It's a couple of shades darker than my natural skin colour. I'm going to apply that all across the lid. Then using the same brush, I'm going to apply a lighter colour. So I'm probably going to go with third from the bottom, this creamy colour. Just getting it on the tip of the brush like that. And I'm going to apply that on the inner corners of my eyes. Then for the highlight, I'm going to use second from the top. It's kind of like a creamy white and it has some shimmer. So just apply that across the brow bone area. And then blend it in. This is all using the same brush. You don't need a lot of brushes for this look. Now the next step is mascara. So I'm just using CoverGirl Lash Blast Length Mascara. So that's the mascara done. Now I did use black, but if you're wanting a more subtle or a more natural look, use either a brown or use clear mascara. So next is the cheeks, and I'm going to keep it very natural, very peachy. I'm using the Australis in Screen Siren. It's the Paparazzi Perfect High Definition Blush and a stippling brush. This stippling brush is from Manicare and it's the Artiste range. It's like $17 or something like that. I'm just going to get a little bit of the colour on the end of the brush, just kind of like that, and then apply it to my cheeks. So that just adds a little bit of like a natural blush. It's a peachy pink, but it's very soft, so any brand that you have in that colour range would be fine. For my lips, I'm just going to use a tinted lip balm. This one is not so much tinted, but it has a colour to it. It's the Burt's Bees Replenishing lip balm, and it's sort of like got a reddish tinge to it. And that's it, you're done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial for the back to school look. Let me know what you think, and I will catch you again soon. Bye. There's somebody out the front. I think they're delivering the census. I'll be right back. Census. Anyway, back to business. Domino's Pizza. Vroom vroom. So that's the mascara done. Now if you are wanting, I've used black, but if you are